What is your own definition of resilience?
Well, there are two parts. The first part is I'd like to use the image of a rubber band. And let's say we take the rubber band and we really stretch it. And that's kind of akin to the stressors and tribulations we have in life. So we're just stretched to the max. And the ability to have it go back to its original shape and size would indicate a person who can handle the stress and tribulations. So that's one part of it. But there's also another part that is so key that oftentimes people overlook, and that is the transcendence. And this is the part where you're able to get the big picture, how you fit into that big picture, and to have what I call the relief of the big picture. So you're not so bowled over by day-to-day occurrences because you know that the world is in God's hands. This will not be forever, that things will change, and you can then transform and become resilient as you travel through whatever God has planned for you. So it's the elasticity, going back to what you were originally, but also how to tackle problems from a transcendent point of view.
That sounds really good to me, and I'll be asking you lots of questions to explore that idea. You talk about 7 resilient qualities. What are the 7 resilient qualities that you found in your clients, and how did you discover them?
Well, when I was done with my practice after 25 years, I decided I needed to write a book. I was given so many jewels and treasures from the clients that I served that I didn't want to just dismiss them and not have a place where I could compile that information. And that's why I wrote the book, Resilience, a workbook, Powering Through Adversity to Find Happiness. And what I found in my clients that were successful, and that's key, I decided not to go into the pathology of everything. I decided instead to look at, okay, what made my clients successful? And out of that came 7 resilient qualities. Not all of them had all 7, but they had enough that they were able to make it through and sustain the therapeutic goals that we had together. One of them, the first one, which is very important, is the nature. Being able to go into nature and find solace. Just to go outside of your door and look at birds recreating, blossoms blooming, and to spend time in nature and just feel the healing that can come from loving God's creation. So that was one thing I noticed they had. Also, there was a mindset for adventure. These individuals that were successful, their beta was turned on. And beta is a brainwave that you're onto something. That's turned on and means that they were going about life with a sense of excitement and ready to see what was around the corner. They had an interesting spark for living and a drive to celebrate what they were experiencing. Those 2 qualities, and there's also what I call dark walking. And this comes from a terminology from Barbara Taylor's book on walking through the dark. And this is being able to face the dark part of ourselves and recognize that we're a whole, that our lightness and our darkness actually creates one whole person. And we tend to avoid that dark side, but we learn so much from that dark side that we need to stand and look at it and eyeball it and learn from it. And that's our fears, that's our limitations, that's our feeling of failure. All of those dark things we have to look at to really become strong, resilient individuals. Then the 4th one is being able to be creative. When we're in the space of scarcity or needing something or wanting something, did we just passively endure it, or did we creatively problem solve through that? And I found people who were problem solvers were the ones that were able to sustain the therapeutic goals and to have a happy life. Then the 5th one was being able to connect with others. And all the researchers who have done work on resilience come up with the same one. People who are able to connect with helpful people when they need it are able to endure and are strong, resilient individuals. The 6th one is to be reflective, recognizing that the only way you can go forward is you have to go backwards to understand what happened so that you can make the changes to transform into your future. So to be reflective is a very important quality, and it's painful sometimes because there are fears, there are failures that we have to address so that we can make the transformation that we need to. And then the last one is the finding a mission or a purpose. When you're going through that dark part of yourself and you're struggling hard, to find a mission, that is really important. So those are the 7 qualities that are important for creating a resilient life.
And they make so much sense to me.